Hey, happy motherfucking December, kiddies! Your Uncle Spurt is already full of festive cheer, and of course by festive cheer I mean vodka and trifle. And I'll tell you what, my guts are definitely getting in the festive spirit this week. Feels like I just ate a massive bowl of sprouts. And fingers crossed I'll make it to the end of this video without shorting and doing the John Wayne shuffle of shame off camera to change my Y-front. Anyway, even though it's not too long until jolly old St. Nick squeezes his enormous bulk down your chimney hole, we've still got several smartphone launches to squeeze in, just lingering on the horizon there, one of which is the OnePlus 12, which should be launching in China next Monday, December the 4th. And here's everything we know so far, including quite a considerable chunk leaked by OnePlus itself, right after a jolly wee jingle. Oh, Jesus Christ, those cheesy fingers were a really bad idea. TechSpurt Weekly! So first up, just like the current flagship, you can expect OnePlus to launch just a single model. There'll be no Pro version of the OnePlus 12, no Pro Plus, Pro Max, Pro Lapse, or any other versions with added swank. Just the good old-fashioned OnePlus 12, and as that design has already leaked to buggery all over the internet over the past few weeks/months, OnePlus basically said this week, oh f*** it, we might as well just release some official pictures. And so here it is, the OnePlus 12, and one of the most controversial changes is the repositioning of that alert slider from the right edge over to the left. Those dirty motherfuckers. And apparently this is thanks to a redesigned antenna which offers stronger connectivity when you're clutching the phone horizontally for gaming. Because Lord knows I wouldn't want my game interrupted when I'm having my arse blasted to crispy chunks by wee 12-year-old cock pockets in Call of Duty. And of course these days, curved smartphone screens are about as popular as dysentery, so on the OnePlus 12 it's a perfectly flat display. And that'll be surrounded by super skinny bezels so it's not too cumbersome to clutch. Meanwhile, around back you've got a glass arse which comes in three colours: black, white and a moody hero green, just like the OnePlus 11. For the design of its latest blower, OnePlus apparently found inspiration in the untamed beauty found in nature, where unbounded paths and infinite possibilities reign supreme. And what all that airy-fairy bollocks basically means is the OnePlus design team fancied a free holiday, and so they buggered off to the Dart River on the company expense account. And by the way, that's not the River Dart here in the UK. Oh no, apparently that's not inspiring enough. No, they went to the Dart River, which flows through the Mount Aspiran National Park in the southern island of New Zealand. I wonder why they chose that one instead. And while they were on this obviously imperative work excursion, the OnePlus design team, and I quote, were immersed in the captivating wonders of nature, igniting their creative vision. Translation, they slammed back some edibles and slumped down on a riverbank, staring into the water and contemplating some of the universe's biggest and most perplexing mysteries. Like, why do people actually watch Mrs. Brown's Boys? Is it proof that we're living in some artificial Matrix-style reality and this is just some inexplicable glitch in the coding? Or are people just actually dumb cunts? Well, the result is we've now got a funky braided pattern on the back end of that OnePlus 12 to match the natural formations of that Dart River, which the designers definitely couldn't have come up with just by, looking at pictures on Google. And meanwhile, sticking with the liquidy theming, the OnePlus 12 could actually come with full water resistance. I'm talking IP68 rated, and hopefully be fully submerged in water, no worries, just like most rival flagships. As for the OnePlus 12's display, well, that's apparently another 6.7-inch OLED screen with Quad HD Plus resolution, and it's LTPO tech scaling from 1 to 120Hz refresh, so basically the same as last year then. But not quite, because OnePlus has apparently really boosted the brightness levels for this year's model so it can hit over 2000 nits, possibly even maxing out at 2600. That's about twice as bright as the previous OnePlus 11, and it also beats the likes of the iPhone 15 Pro Max and the upcoming Galaxy S24 Ultra, if all of these rumours don't turn out to be total toilet. But it's the performance where things get proper stiffy-inducing. It's Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 running the show, baby, freshly launched just a few weeks ago, and backed in the OnePlus 12 by up to 24 gigs of RAM? That's even more RAM than your mum can take, and believe me, she can handle some serious RAM action. So here's hoping the OnePlus 12 can flawlessly smash through any game out there on maxed out settings for hours at a time. And perhaps we'll see some advanced liquid coolant tech smushed in there just to be sure. Kinda like what we saw on that snazzy OnePlus 11 concept phone. although probably without the fancy show-off light-up shenanigans. Now, some leaks and rumours put the battery capacity of the OnePlus 12 at 5,000 mAh again, same as the OnePlus 11, whereas some web whisperings reckon it'll be bumped up to 5,400 mAh, which again beats even the mighty Galaxy S24 Ultra. You can expect super nippy 100 watt wired charging, so hopefully it should be powered up to full in well under an hour, and also, touch wood, all of the wood, OnePlus should be adding in wireless charging for the OnePlus 12 as well, something which was missing from the previous flagship. Should be 50 watt wireless according to those rumours. You've also got reverse wireless charging if you want to slap your earbuds or whatever on the back end of that phone. As for the optics, well, those are headed up on the OnePlus 12 by a 50 meg 4th generation Hasselblad camera. Alongside this shooter, you'll find a 50 meg ultra wide angle lens, as well as a fresh new 64 meg periscope shooter, boasting an upgraded 3x optical zoom, as confirmed by OnePlus, and as versus the 2x zoom on the OnePlus 11, so that should be the biggest upgrade as far as the camera tech goes. And as far as the software is concerned, well, that'll be a tasty bit of Oxygen OS as usual, so overall, sounds like a pretty ruddy great package. So now the question is, when can I get my filthy mitts on one? It's launching in China next week, but the actual global launch probably won't happen until late January, early February, so almost a year after the OnePlus 11 arrived. But will the OnePlus 12 be so marvellous as to divert attention from the Samsung Galaxy S24 series, which is also launching January next year? Well, definitely let us know all of the interesting thoughts bobbing around in your brain by expressing them in word or emoji form in the comment section down below my face. And now it's time for the part of the show that's actually inspired by British rivers in that it's absolutely overflowing with shit. It's viewer comments. Viewer comments. Alright, deep breath. Let's dive on in. Red Rock Cowboy Church says, this guy smokes too much. Actually, these days I only ever smoke when I'm in a pub and I've had a few and there's someone that I can nick a fag off. I mean, have you seen the price of cigarettes these days? I can't afford those, and also £7.50 a pint. 3 in a Jar said, you had to Google yellow cartoon character, Simpsons maybe. Aye, fair point. That one just escaped my brain for some reason, possibly because I've been hypothetically smoking too much. The first thing that jumped into my brain was Garfield, and I thought, no, actually he's more of an orange, isn't he, rather than a yellow. And I was like, but what about his dog mate, Odie? But then I was thinking, like, oh, how long has it been since Garfield was on the telly? And if I say Odie, you know, is everyone just gonna be like, what the f is an Odie? Let's face it, this show is already full of some fairly obscure references. And so I decided to go with a My Little Pony character who's probably been in about 2 episodes ever. And that was the highly fascinating story behind that creative decision, which wasn't inspired by a all-expenses-paid trip to New Zealand, unfortunately, just a shagload of beer. Now, the hot topic last week was Samsung's Galaxy S24 series, of course, which should be launching, hopefully, in just a few weeks' time. We've had lots of feedback on these leaks, and kind of a mixed reception as well. Lots of people less than impressed. So Wendy Hopkins says, keeping my S23 Ultra, no need to update this year. Similarly, Mona Robbins says, well, thanks to Samsung, we'll be back to the Exynos processor in our country. I'd rather take the S23 with the Snapdragon processor. And lots of other people saying they'll either stick with the S23 or they'd rather get an S23 than an S24, and hopefully, touch wood, we'll get some nice tasty discounts on the S23 series when the S24 lot launch. In fact, I've already seen some discounts on the S23 Ultra on contract from some of the providers here in the UK. Sir Blackstone says, over Thanksgiving, I learned from my dad who works on the Android graphics team that Samsung thinks that they've figured out why the RDNA 2 Exynos SoC underperformed versus the Snapdragon. Their new RDNA 3 one should offer a better showing. I mean, I'm certainly hoping with all of my bodily might, you know, up to the extent where I don't soil myself accidentally, that Exynos chipset doesn't turn out to be dud and is actually a massive improvement, although early leaked benchmarks online, not exactly super arousing. But I am, of course, the first one to say, massive dangly watsits to benchmarking anyway. Let's just see how it handles real life stuff. So yeah, the Exynos news might have gone down about as well as a man-fat milkshake, but lots of people do seem to be very happy with Samsung's decision to ditch the curved screen on the Galaxy S24 Ultra. Rai Rael is one such happy camper, says, I've spent years with no screen protector because they're all shite on curved displays. After that, I'll probably actually finally keep a phone for 3 years. And likewise, Frostbite says the generative AI suite and titanium frame are just gimmicks for the S24 Ultra. I'm not interested in that stuff. They should just market it with finally no more curved displays. Now that will get me excited. Yeah, these days it seems like that is the trend. All the flagship phones are now finally getting flat displays instead, and it's only more of the mid-range mobiles that are coming with those curved displays to kind of look more premium, I guess. Frankly, it is a fad that I won't be massively upset when it dies out. A big one here from Nick Foxy, who says, one thing I reckon won't impress is around a weight reduction for the S24 Ultra. Given that the S23 Ultra is made of aluminium, if the S24 Ultra is titanium, it will end up being almost identical in weight. Apple's Pro Max dropped in weight because the 14 was stainless steel, which is heavier than the 15's titanium. And yeah, that's a very good point. You probably won't notice much difference, certainly in terms of the weight, if you're upgrading from the S23 Ultra, though hopefully the titanium frame will be a bit tougher as well. As for the size of the bloody things, well, Slipper Clutch says, not everybody has the same preference, Chris. We want the Samsung Galaxy S24 to be slightly bigger, somewhere near to 6.3 inches, so I'm happy with the change. He knows what he likes and he likes it large, just like your mum. Yeah, I can certainly appreciate that not everyone enjoys a small one, but you know, when someone like Samsung is doing a series of phones like this and you've already got a Plus model in there for those who prefer a bigger handset, it would be quite nice if the regular model was just a bit more compact for us small folk. And Baz Anime says, remember when they used to call 5-inch or more phones phablets? And then there was the Nokia Lumia 1520, a whopping 6 inches. Yeah, that really was the beginning of the end when the mighty phablets came along. They'll never catch on, I confidently muttered with my usual expertise at predicting future tech trends. LA Tex Norway says, I was thinking of waiting for the S24 Ultra after trying the Google Pixel 8 Pro, but I changed my mind and got the OnePlus 11 instead. I'm incredibly satisfied with it, it really is a great phone. Yeah, I just really hope it doesn't get overlooked in all of the Best Phone of the Year awards, because obviously it came out right at the start of 2023, so I won't be surprised if a lot of the big tech YouTubers just completely blank it, even though obviously the S23 series came out right at the start as well. And of course it'll be even better because it should get heavily discounted now that the OnePlus 12 is about to go global. Smithian9227 says, I ditched the A54 this week, I'm done with Exynos. Got the Motorola Edge 40 Pro. What's your honest opinion? Don't care about the updates as long as the phone runs fine. I definitely like the Motorola Edge smartphones. The Edge 40 Pro, it's pretty bloody good as long as, yeah, you're not too bothered about the regular software updates. The camera's not as good as the Pixels either. There's two areas where Google definitely wins out. But if you see it at a nice tasty little discount, well, definitely give it a squint. And Abdul says, great videos like always. Oh, you smooth talker, you. And also, I love your anime wallpapers any way I can get them. Well, let's see. Wall.alphacoders.com, wall.alphacoders.com. That's where my wallpapers come from. Wall.alphacoders.com. Will Rivera says, you always give us best lists, but how about some worst lists so we know what to avoid? I mean, to be honest, there really aren't that many bad smartphones these days. You know, so like 12 years ago where, oh my god, I was reviewing some god-awful Androids that looked like some disinterested school kid's CDT project. You know, the ones with resistive touchscreens that basically wouldn't work unless you jabbed them hard enough to break your f***ing finger. And these days, the only smartphone I can think of that I actually actively tell people to avoid is the iPhone SE. I mean, honestly, what a hot heap of congealed donkey jizz that smartphone is. Mr. Derevko says, do you have any information on the Oppo Find X6? Nope, other than you can bet your left bollock it's not coming to the UK. Matthias says, I had a Nokia 1020, loved that phone, certified banger mate. Mythic Sons says, cats communicate more so with their eyes and tail than with any noises they make. They also feel more comfortable with someone that matches their eye level, which is why yours has climbed up onto the desk. I swear to God, he particularly enjoys jumping up here after he's been prancing about in the bloody mud outside. But God, if you've got cats, never get a white desk. RMJ says, honestly, the bloody Chinese have spoiled us to the point where all normal charging speeds on smartphones and all-day battery life on smartwatches is now seen as shit. And similarly, Frasmiup says, I don't know how fast people want their phone to charge. I've got the base 256 gigs S23, and with a fast charger, it's up to 85% in 35 to 40 minutes. I mean, that's not bad by any means, but once you've had a smartphone that can fully charge in like 15 to 20 minutes max, it's hard to go back. And basically in the morning you get up, you plug it in, you go brush your teeth, you have a bit of a cry in the shower, and by the time you get out again, fully charged, no buggering about. Noisy Boy says, Chris, this episode number is wrong. This week it's episode 177, not 176. Wait, what? Oh, whoops. Let me just make a quick edit to that one. Oh, bugger, I'm well out of time, so better make this the last comment of the week. CP Box Set Playlists says, I've spent most of this video staring at your cat's Monopoly Man mustache. Yeah, he's one proper dapper fuzzball, right? All he needs is the top hat and maybe a cigar, and the image would be complete. Maybe I'll get him those for Christmas. But anyway, yeah, massive thank you to everyone who smashed some comments down below last week. Please do the same this week, whatever is on your lovely wee mind. I'll do my best to reply and answer your questions, queries, whatever it happens to be next week. And speaking of next week, next week, what the f*** is next week? And well, my pretties, it's a thrilling one because next week the reviews embargo lifts, Wednesday the 6th, on one of the very first Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 smartphones to launch globally. So, whoa, exciting times. Expect a good bit of Uncle Spurt fondly action right here on TechSpurt. And of course, next Friday, same time, same place, please do join me for yet another TechSpurt Weeklies. If you've watched this episode this far, then, you know, you must be kind of into it, you weirdo. Oh, and please do subscribe, smash the notifications bell, tell your friends, and more importantly, have yourselves a bloody wonderful weekend. Cheers, everyone. Love you.